Beautiful. Good morning, everybody. We are here on another beautiful Sunday morning in Myrtle Beach, and we are out at the Salem Road property, the property that Unity Myrtle Beach has acquired for our Unity Center. And we are in a little bit of a different location this morning, so we hope you can hear us and see us okay. And we love you, we bless you, and we're glad you're here with us this morning. We have our music team, Dave LaCombe and Anton Knoll-Ruffo, and our one congregant this morning out under the oak tree is Elisa Ferrara, and she is a part of our green team, and you're probably going to want to join the green team because there's lots of exciting things happening out here. So this morning we are here to talk about moments of grace, and we are setting that intention that we feel moments of grace at this time. And we are going to also thank David Hiller for being behind the camera again this morning. Next week he'll be in front of the camera bringing the Sunday message. So we are going to start off with a wonderful song that we love at Unity Myrtle Beach called I Walked and I Walked. I learned this song at Unity of Hawaii when I was over there. Great song. Okay, guys.
I walked and I walked all night long. I walked and I walked until I saw the light. Just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented until I saw the light. I prayed and I prayed, I prayed all night long. I prayed and I prayed until I saw the light. Just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented until I saw the light. I sang and I sang, I sang all night long. I sang and I sang until I saw the light. Just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented until I saw the light. Rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rocking my soul. I walked and I walked all night long. I walked and I walked until I saw the light. Just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented, just couldn't until I saw the light. Just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented, just couldn't be contented until I saw the light.
Isn't that the way it is with all of us? We're not fully content sometimes until we get our insight, our awareness, until we see the light. We could call that a moment of grace, when the light dawns on us, when we find the answer we're looking for, when we deepen into the peace we've been yearning for. So we just can't be contented until we feel the light and see the light and know ourselves as the light. I was sitting in the shade of our fig tree on our back deck several days ago, and feeling so very grateful for the shade on a hot day, just like all of us right now are feeling very grateful for the shade underneath this pavilion, and there's a bit of a breeze now. So we're feeling so grateful. So that's what I was feeling, sitting in the shade of my fig tree, and this thought came over me. I'm sitting in the shade of grace. So I'd like for us to breathe into that idea that we're sitting in the shade of grace. The feeling was a feeling of peace. I was feeling the presence, the one presence that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore talked about, the one presence known by many names. And I was being present to the presence. And all of that was in the experience of sitting in the shade of grace. It reminded me of a psalm, Psalm 91. It goes, "One who lives in the shelter of the Most High will stay in the shadow of the Almighty." Again, one who lives in the shelter of the Most High will stay in the shadow of the Almighty. That grace that is all around us, above us, below us, all around us. My goddaughter, Marie Hal Hermansen from Denmark, she calls the shade the shadows. So when she came to visit in the hot summer one year in July here in South Carolina, she and I on our walks would search out the places with the shadows so we could rest in the coolness of that. So this is what I'd like to ask you to think about and deepen into as we set intention for this service, for this day. We take a deep breath. And we set intention to feel the comforting presence, to feel the comforting energy, a coolness like a breeze, a peace. We feel our moments of grace, and we sense the comforting energy of Holy Spirit within us and around us, above and below us. And for our human species, for all life on this planet, and for the Mother Earth herself, we set intention for the comforting energy. And so we continue with the Lord's Prayer. As you know, we use the translation from the Aramaic, which was the language that Jesus spoke. And so all together, Father, Mother, Birther, and Breath of all, create a space inside of us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire then flows through ours as energy fills all form. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment, and untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. From age to age through you flow the glorious harmonies of life. May these words be fertile statements through which our future grows. Amen, amen, and amen. Oh, do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. That's a good prayer for the day that we're living in right now. So we take a deep breath into that idea, that divine idea. It's what Charles Fillmore called insights and awareness, divine ideas. When we grasp the divine idea, that out of our words, out of the energy of this prayer, flow the glorious harmonies of life. That's how powerful these words are. So the daily word I'm reading today is actually the one for tomorrow, because it is honoring all those who have served and currently serving in the armed forces. So in honor of Memorial Day, which is tomorrow, I'm reading the daily word for May 25th. The word is honor, and the affirmation is, I honor all who gave their lives in service to others. Memorial Day in the United States is a time to honor the men and women in the military who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their country. I honor the brave men and women around the earth whose service has made the world safer. I hold them in my heart with gratitude for my freedom and my safety. I am mindful of my liberty as I remember them with respect. Their sacrifice has not been in vain. Today and every day, I honor those who have given their lives in service. I pause to reflect on the bravery and faith it takes to serve. I send gratitude to everyone for their sacrifice through actions that show my love and appreciation to those who have fallen. I will never forget those I honor today. And from the book of Romans, love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. So today we remember our family members, our friends, all those we're thinking of who have served and continue to serve, and the families of all those who are serving in the armed services. It's an experience for the entire family. In what we refer to as our upper room in our townhouse, I keep a photograph of my Uncle Dexter, who served in World War II, and I never knew him. But in this picture, he and his young Italian bride are smiling and happy and so much in love. And after this picture was taken, within the year, his plane went down over France. And he was my mother's favorite brother. That was really hard for her, I know, and for the whole family. But I keep this picture because in this picture, they're both smiling so beautifully. And every time I look at it, I feel peace and I feel happiness. And I feel their spirits with me. And so for all of the beautiful men and women, past, present, and future, who choose to serve in the armed services, we thank you and we bless you. And as we extend that blessing also into the world for those serving all of the countries of the world, even those with whom we may not agree, we bless our human species. We're trying to sort out in our consciousness how to create our world with more peace, and a world where war is the very, 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 very last alternative. And so we breathe into that divine idea that a world of peace is possible. And while we are creating that vision of peace, we continue to bless those around the world from every country who have to make the hard choice many times to serve in the armed forces. So as we continue into our meditation, a song that many of us love and sing at Unity Myrtle Beach fairly often, and it's People Get Ready.
ready, there's a train coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. So people get ready for the train to Jordan. It's picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors, and for them there's hope for all among those loved the most. There's no such thing as a hopeless sinner, what hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner, but there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. There's a train coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
Let's all take a deep breath into the beautiful words to that song. Dave and Anton changed a couple of the words, as we do in Unity sometimes. Unity teaches that sin is the meaning of the word, which is to miss the mark. It's actually an archery term. To miss the mark. So how many of us in our lives have from time to time missed the mark? Everybody's raising their hand. And so that's how Unity sees sin, that we human beings, as we move more and more deeply or higher, as you may see it, into the awakened consciousness, we drop away those things that no longer serve the highest good for ourselves and for the whole community. So the words they changed, there's no such thing as a hopeless sinner. That's really a divine idea. There's no such thing as a hopeless sinner, meaning there's really no one who is exempt from the possibility of awakening, of knowing themselves as the light. No matter what they've done or not done, said or not said, no matter what transgressions they may have been a part of, that there's no such thing as a hopeless sinner. There's always the possibility, there's always the hope, there's always the idea that any of us can wake up in any moment, in the twinkling of an eye, being changed, deepening into that awakening consciousness. So as we go into our meditation, I'd like to invite you to hear the words of Meister Eckhart. He was a German monk, Catholic monk, scholar, and he wrote a poem, Love Does That. All day long a little burro labors, sometimes with heavy loads on her back, and sometimes just with worries about things that bother only burros. And worries, as we know, can be more exhausting than physical labor. Once in a while, a kind monk comes to her stable and brings a pear. But more than that, he looks into the burro's eyes and touches her ears, and for a few seconds, the burro is free and even seems to laugh. Because you see, love does that. Love frees. So I invite you to take a deep breath, a deep healing breath into the core of being, where we access our peace, our compassion, our wisdom, our strength, our imagination, our faith, our hope, our joy. We deepen into that place known as the kingdom of heaven, Christ consciousness, the river of life. I invite you to continue to take those deep healing breaths and imagine yourself as the one who has the capacity to look into the eyes of another human being and see them with love, and by doing that, free them from their worries. I ask that you imagine looking into the eyes of another human being and with your eyes of love to see them as love, see them as the light. And I invite all of us to be brave enough and forgiving enough and wise enough to imagine looking into the eyes of someone with whom we've had sorrows or anger or confusion. Someone close to us or someone in the world. Just imagine yourself looking into their eyes with love. Knowing that with that love, we can free them and we can free ourselves. We are told that on the day of the crucifixion, that we're told that during those 3 days, and actually before the resurrection, we're told that Jesus descended into hell and set the captives free. There are many ways to see that metaphysically. We can set ourselves free from the damaging, wounding patterns and currents of thought that have been damaging to ourselves and to our world. And with our gaze of love, we can set one another free. So as we take a few moments of silence, I invite you to continue imagining, looking into the eyes of those that you can set free. And now I invite you to imagine what signs and wonders you will see in this individual or individuals as you see them set free. What would your confirmation be that these individuals had been set free from some wounding pattern or from some damaging thought current? Because this is a form of prayer. We hold the vision, we give thanks, and then we look for the ways that healing unfolds. And so today we continue to set intention to see with eyes of love and to see the evidence unfolding in the world that our species is set free from the damaging, wounding ways that have brought so much struggle. We set ourselves free and we set one another free. In the name and in the light of the living presence of peace, we say it is so, and we let it be. Namaste. Okay, we are here this morning to talk about moments of grace, and there is, in fact, grace happening all the time. And if we are able to look with the eyes of love towards those who we have felt anger towards, or disappointment, or sorrow, or wounding, if we are able to look with the eyes of love, then we are already free. If we're able to look with the eyes of love and forgiveness, we are already free. And we imagine them free as well. So grace has a few definitions: elegance of movement, or goodwill. Grace can be defined as goodwill, or help, or strength, or healing that comes to us, an unmerited favor. Sometimes we receive gifts. We receive literal gifts, or we receive energetic gifts, and we can feel the grace that we didn't do anything to receive these gifts, or for these gifts to be extended towards us, and yet we are the recipients of the miracles, the grace. So we can also look at grace as synchronistic moments, serendipity, a recognition of things coming together. Think in your life of those moments when things came together in ways that you did not plan, ways that you had no idea were possible. The dots just simply connected. So I have another story about a few other uncles. I didn't know this was going to be the Sunday where I talked about the uncles. So I was about 12, and at Jacksonville Beach, we had all gathered at my grandmother's home because my Uncle Dwight was in his transition time, and the family had gathered to say their goodbyes and to hold vigil as he was in his passing time. And I was out on the back stoop, and I looked up the road, and I thought I saw someone that I recognized walking toward the house, but I wasn't quite sure, and I realized later it's because I'd seen my Uncle Hugh's picture. He was in uniform also, World War II Air Force. And I had never met him. He had been away from the family. No one knew where he was after the war. He didn't come home. And we're all gathered at the house. A knock comes on the door. My Uncle Dwight's in one room dying, and when my grandmother answered the door, her other son was standing there, her son that she had not seen in all these years since World War II had ended. The dots got connected, and it was a moment of grace. There were tears because one uncle was dying, and tears of gratitude that another uncle, brother, son had come home. My Uncle Hugh later shared He wasn't exactly sure why, he just had a feeling it was time to leave Cleveland, Ohio, and come back home. So there are moments of grace, the unexplainable moments of grace, and that's what I encourage all of us to be aware of right now, because there's so much in the news, there's so much being said right now about the things in the world that are hard, painful, and difficult, and we sometimes get so caught up in that we're not seeing the moments of grace and miracles and signs and wonders and synchronicity and things coming together in powerful healing ways. Last Sunday, we talked a bit about the idea that we can see in the dark, and we looked at the Psalms 139, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. The idea that we continue to deepen into this resurrection consciousness. You know, we're in the days leading up to Pentecost. Pentecost Sunday, we're in the days that, as the story goes, Jesus told his disciples, wait for the comforting presence. Wait for the Holy Spirit. Wait for this energy to come upon you. Wait for this strengthening, comforting spirit, because you're going to need this to be in the world in these times. And that's what happened for those who waited. The grace came upon them. We're told that the Holy Spirit came upon them. It was after that they went out and manifested the miracles and the healings. So there are moments of grace in our lives, and some of them are quiet moments of grace, and some of them are huge, powerful moments of grace. Some of them are moments of grace that we would call miracles. And other times we call these moments of grace the peace that passes all understanding. So Thomas Berry, whose book we've been looking at, The Great Work, he talks about the big moments of grace. And these are really big moments of grace. Sometimes it's good to let ourselves feel ourselves in the big sweep of huge cosmic history. And that's what Thomas Berry does. He said that one of the most powerful moments of grace was when the supernova event occurred, and a star exploded and determined the future possibilities of the solar system, the earth, and of every form of life that would appear on the earth. So he talks about this huge cosmic moment of grace, the Big Bang, when our solar system was flung into being, and that all life became possible. That's a big cosmic event, but I invite us to look at this present moment we're living in as a powerful moment, and a moment out of which possibilities are emerging. And we're practicing seeing the huge healing possibilities that are upon us. He talks again about another moment of grace when multicellular organic forms of life began to appear. It was a moment of transition. Suddenly in the world it was possible because of evolution of one cell and then another cell, and using the oxygen of the atmosphere and the immense energies of photosynthesis, and suddenly there was life in the world and on the planet, and the living world as we know it began to flourish until it shaped the earth anew. These were moments of grace that suddenly there was the first flower, and suddenly meadows and songs of birds and graceful movement of dolphins through the sea. All these things became possible when a star exploded. I love just sitting in a moment of silence and thinking about that. All of these things became possible when a star exploded. Our human history became possible when a star exploded. When language was created, when fire the discovery of how to build fire, how to capture lightning, how to make fire. When humankind discovered that we could have our gardens and create pottery and music and sacred ceremony, Barry calls all of these moments of grace because in all these moments we were finding ourselves as beings of light, and we continue to do so. I don't think I'm stretching this idea too much to consider that we are in another determining moment, a huge moment of grace. And it's not just because of this COVID-19 virus, of course it's not. But something has in the world, something different has happened in the world. It's gotten our attention in a different way. And our species has been awakening for a long, long time, for thousands of years. But here we are in this moment. And I invite all of us to see it as a moment of grace and a determining moment, a moment just as important as a star exploding and hurling into space all that was required, all the elements required to create the planets and life. What if this is a determining moment when our thoughts are flung into the universe, when our words are flung into the universe, when our prayers and visions and sense of what's happening is flung into the universe? What if this is a moment of grace? We don't want to miss it. We don't want to miss this moment of grace. If we don't see it as a determining moment, we're going to miss all of the incredible possibilities that exist within this moment. I was in the church office last week and talking with someone there who was just feeling so sad about all the divisiveness among our human family, among our species. So once again, I ask us to take a deep healing breath and to imagine that this moment of grace, is a determining moment for the future of our species. And what if, with your eyes of love, you can set me free from wounding patterns and thoughts? And what if your eyes of love, you can set free everyone towards whom you turn your gaze? This is a huge practice. When I see someone on TV that I'm having a hard time with, what if I shift my gaze to the gaze of love? When I'm listening on to NPR and I hear a report that is uncomfortable or discouraging for me, what if I shift my gaze to a gaze of love towards that event and towards the people involved? And of course, ultimately, we shift our gaze towards ourselves and seeing ourselves in a gaze of love. It is no small thing that we chose to be here at this time. It is no small thing that we chose to be a part of this moment of grace. Thomas Berry said, "This we need to know, how to participate creatively in the wildness of the world about us. For it is out of the wild depths of the universe and of our own being that the greater visions must come. Below my anger, below my sadness, the greater visions live." And that's where I want to deepen into, so that through my eyes, I'm seeing with the eyes of love. Thomas Berry also said this: "May the children of every species go into the future as a single sacred community." 。  . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . May the children of every species go into the future as a single sacred community. We can't see the sacred community if we're not seeing through eyes of love. So that's what it's about today, moments of grace. So let's take a deep breath into that idea. Moments of grace. Moments of grace. Namaste. You know, there is a book called Moments of Grace, I do believe, that Neil Donald Walsh wrote. Honey, I'm looking at you behind the camera, David, because he asked you to do one of the chapters. Wasn't that Moments of Grace? So I pray today that you are feeling your moments of grace and that you are looking for grace, moments of grace in the world for all those you love and care about and for our human species. Grace, grace, grace. So I want to invite you now to hear a few important announcements. One of the most exciting important announcements is that we have determined from our reconvening survey that most of you, a high percentage of you, are ready to reconvene out here at Salem Road doing outdoor services. And you'll hear more about that with the guidelines for attending. We'll put that on Facebook and our Unity website, and we're sending out the general reminder emails, so make sure we have your email. So reconvening out here at Salem Road, bringing your own chair, maintaining distance, with other guidelines, we'll again publish those. That's June 14th. Then after our outdoor service out here on June 21st, we will have a town hall. And again, I'll be in the outdoors, and we'll be discussing some exciting things that are going on out here at Salem Road, not the least of which is beautifying the grounds, getting them ready for more outdoor events out here on this beautiful land. And if you want to be a part of the green team, talk with Elisa Ferrara or me, or go to the Unity Myrtle Beach Salem Road updates. That's a Facebook page, and let us know you want to be a part of it. Come on out to Salem Road Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're gathering out here doing amazing, beautifying work. Also, today at noon, that's right after this service, I'll be doing the Zoom Connect the Dots, and you'll find that Zoom sign-in information on the Facebook page. I think I've made all of the announcements, but I'll probably hear from someone that I forgot something. But we'll be putting plenty, again, on our Facebook page for all the exciting events coming up. Did I forget anything, y'all? No? Okay, the guys have one more song for us, and we are going to now, I can't remember what it is.
Fly like an eagle.
Oh, Fly Like an Eagle. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, there's a solution. Feed the baby who don't have enough to eat. Sugar for children with no shoes on the feet. How's the people living out in the streets? Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to
love that song. Yes, we do. Thank you for being with us. I'll see some of you for the Zoom Connect the Dots in a few minutes. Again, that sign-in information is on the Facebook page. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. We love you exactly the way you are because you are the light of the world. And from all of us to all of you, we pray you are at peace and enjoying your moments of grace today. Namaste.